Well, hello everybody. It's Mad Zapper. I'm back again. Doing these videos on leveling and just basically different things about the server for higher grounds. I'm gonna switch over to the game at this point, and we are just logging in. Uh, as I mentioned before, you can set a password on your account. I recommend you do it. If you don't do it, then pretty much anybody can log in as you. Uh, so let me recap where we've been. The very first episode. This is the third episode I'm doing, but the very first episode was creating a character, um, trying to get some basic gear, and get started on tagging our character. Showed a window with a lot of the resources that are available. I can put that up again here real quick and show you what I was talking about. Just a second. That was nice. It just reset itself. Okay. Okay, so this is the page I was talking about. We have... No, and you're still not seeing it. Well, we're having technical difficulties still. This is fantastic. Well, we're going to get going here pretty quick, but let me... Last time I wasn't happy because the... required me to go full screen on this stuff, even over the game. And so I had problems. Now, it doesn't look like we can even see. There we go. I think it's just trying to move forward after so long. But this is the page I was talking about. It's got the wiki. I'm about halfway through an installation guide. It's going to take a little bit more time. And we went over the races, some builds, some accomplishments, quests. Anyways, these are all the important things you need to know to get on the server. Check that out, and we'll get going on the rest of the stuff. So today I'm going to have Moldy's going to join me, but this time she's going to join me with the sorcerer. If you're there, Moldy, go on ahead and say hi. Okay, well there's some audio there, just was no hello.
Hello.
Okay, there we go. Alright, so then back to the game. Okay, so we talked about these places here. We went out, we died in the first episode. And that wasn't any fun. The biggest reason is we just don't have enough gear on us. So, I made another video, the second episode, was all about how to make some money. It's not a ton of money, but it's enough money to do whatever you need to do. And at the end of that video, I put it in my wallet. And that was on a completely different character, but the same account. And because of that, I'm going to hide this this overlay here so that we can, the HUD, so we can look at this. And now I can take a look at my balance by using the exclamation point wallet balance um, command, and you can see now I've got 16 million gold in there. So we put it in from the other tune. We're going to take it out from this tune. We're going to go buy some goodies to help us go back and beat up on that guy that was walking all over us. So use the withdrawal command to get money out of the account, and there's a couple of keywords, but we're going to do all. So wallet withdraw all. Now I'm just going to pull all that money out and stick it right in my I guess we can't do that. We can deposit all. Apparently we can't withdraw all. But I really only need about 5 million gold, so I'm going to do that first. Yes, that was an epic failure on my part to actually get the money out. But so I pulled 5 million out, and theoretically that should be good enough to get everything I want to do. In general, when I first start a character, I spend about a half hour just buying all my gear and making it all look right in my inventory. So in my inventory, if you look right now, it's a big mess. We got this volcanic helm that we pulled off the very first tag, the boss, and a couple fire arrows. We got some of these items that we pulled in when we first landed, and then we've got 32 out of our 50 initial cure light wounds potions, and apparently some ale. We have a generic bastard sword, and just some other miscellaneous items that we got. We had to go with Cloak of Protection +1 and the leather armor +1 because we couldn't afford the +2, but we can now. So the first thing I'm gonna do is go sell all my old junk. And you can talk to pretty much any of these shop owners.
Wait, what can I get you?
Wasn't the armor shop the one that usually gives like the most gold for things though?
It does, but we're not talking randomized items or anything. We're talking in the matter of 300 gold, so it's not going to be enough to worry about. But that's a good point. In general, if you're going to try to sell stuff, go to the armor guy or go to the weapons guy. There are two stores that sit in the main town. I mean, I'm even going to sell this PC book because I've read it already. I guess I can't sell it, so we're going to have to take a trip not only to the stores, but we're also going to take a trip to the trash barrel. I've seen people just drop stuff here in the store. I mentioned this before. I'm going to mention it again. Don't do that. There's trash barrels all over the place. It's good for the server to utilize them because otherwise items will just sit there and consume resources for the game. Alright, so I bought most everything. I'm not going to sell this key because keys are useful. I'm going to move some of these things off my first inventory screen because I'm going to be kind of structuring everything the way I want to do it. And so in general what I do is I put all of these items that I'm going to quick slot on this back page, and I'll have to get a box for this key, but first let's again clear out our inventory and start scratch so you can kind of get a look at how I do it. So here I'm just going to throw these things in the trash. I don't think I have anything else. Okay, and we'll head back in here. We're going to get, our very first thing that we're going to get is bags, because they're extremely useful for organizing your inventory. They're also super useful for really weak tunes, because when you look at this, let's see, we're going to go all the way to the miscellaneous tab and over one, and you'll see we've got this bag of holding. Just like in the regular pen and paper game, it's going to remove 100% of the weight what's in the bag. So if your strength is 6 and you can carry like 40 pounds worth of stuff, well, if you can carry 40 bags, you can put as much as you want in those bags. We're not going to get 40 bags, but we are going to get quite a few. So I'm going to start off buying just probably 12 of these maybe. Okay. And so these first ones on this first page, I'm going to leave these here, and I'm going to have them be my loot. So when I run around and I pick up stuff, these are the bags I want to stick it in. When they get full, I want to come back into town and sell them off. So I'm going to utilize another command, the set name command. And what set name does is you can have any of your items and you can give it a fancy name. Okay, so I'm going to remove this randomize for now, and I'm going to do a custom macro, and we'll just call it loot. And the command will be set name loot. And now what I can do is I can do like I did before with the randomize command. I can do an F1, F2, click the item. So F1, F2, click the bag. And I'm just going to do that for these 6 right here, and you can see what I get are now I have bags that are named loot, and I have other bags named bag of holding. Well, I'm going to put a bunch of gear in these other bags, so you can guess what I'm going to do next. And same deal. Okay, and I'll move these onto the second page because I don't want to mix my gear with my loot if I don't have to. And when I buy stuff, I'm going to wind up sticking them in these gear bags. All right. So we have this key up here. I generally will buy different looking bag of holding. All these will have this same weight 100%, with the exception of a couple. These guys down here you can get, they're cheaper, but they don't do as much for the weight. I'll just grab this box of holding here. It also does 100%, and that's what I'm going to stick my keys in. So I'll move that down into the very last screen and just stick it in here somewheres, and do a set name keys on it so that it looks like this. And we'll go ahead and put my first key in there, the bandit key. So I have some loot bags, I have some gear bags, I have my keys. Well, I'm also going to get a bunch of potions, and so I'm going to buy a bag to stick those in, and I'm going to call that my consumables or potions, whatever you want to call it, go ahead. But those potions can actually add up and weight pretty heavily, so it's good to stick them in a bag. Let's see. Just call it consumables. Okay, so we got that, and then we've got some other items. We've got a bunch of gems that we're going to pick up. So I usually get a pouch for those. And so the different types of looks helps you get to stuff a little quicker, I think. And but now we're going to look at some of the first things that we're going to get. So during the game, let me see if I can pull up that page again, the documentation, because I have a list of a bunch of stuff that I'm going to be buying. Give me just a second. There we go. Okay, so here it is. Here's the big list. We're currently in the Merchant's Emporium, and we're talking to the Emporium Items Merchant. I tend to call her the old lady. You can see that, when you talk to her, I'll talk to her again.
Greetings.
She sounds like an old lady. So that's where she gets the name. Somebody, if you look at a lot of these NPCs, somebody did a lot of work making them look pretty and fancy. They're all over the place. Just wanted to point that out because things like that make the module feel a lot more unique, and it also is a lot of work that somebody put into the game. So just a shout out to whoever did that. Alright, so the Emporium Items Merchant is where we're at. But in the very first episode, I talked about armor and armor class and the different types of armor that you have. Natural, dodge, deflection, and regular armor and shield. And so we want to buy items that fit into each one of those slots. So we're going to start off with these amulets of natural armor. They're going to be over here with the magic items. And see, while we can certainly buy the +1, the +2s are what we need. What I'm going to do is I'm going to buy ahead so that I don't have to keep coming back to the merchant to buy stuff. So I'm going to get one of each of these, and as you can see, they top out here at 5. And if you remember in the very first episode, if you watched it, we actually found a +6 when we were out making money. Actually, it was the second video where we were making money. We found a +6. I think we found a +9 as well. And we did something similar with the cloaks. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take and open up one of these bags for gear and shove these on up in there. Go on to the next thing. We're going to grab, let's see, our next thing is Cloak of Protection. So we'll go back to that. So the Cloak of Protection is over in the clothing. I'm sure there's an optimal way to do this. I just didn't go to that effort. My apologies. So Cloak of Protection +1 we don't need. We're going to get 2. +2, +3, +4, and +5. And there is no +6 for sale as well. Similar type of deal. And we'll just drop a bunch of these in here. Can't fit that, so we'll open up the next one. There we go. Okay, so I said 9 bags of holding, but I'm going to wind up with more than 9 by the time I'm done here. So there's an item in here that I want to buy before Moldy does, and that's this Ring of Elemental Resistance. Can't quite wear it yet, but at level 4, I'm going to be able to wear this. For whatever reason, that particular ring is one of the only items that you're going to come across that you can buy, and then nobody else can buy it on the server until it resets. So if Fishy Red Sorcerer, aka Moldy, wants to buy that, she's going to have to go to another server, which doesn't bother me at all, because I have it. Okay, so we'll add that into our gear bags. Did I put those again? Look at me, I'm already making a mistake. Okay, now we're fine. So if we go back and look at our gear, we've got that. We've got a cloak there. So then next, we're going to look at for the Emporium items merchant. I'm going to grab some St. Blood's pearls. 5 of them should do for a while. And we'll throw those in our gem pouch. So you can see I've done this a bunch of times, so I have all these things lined up just the way that I like to put everything in. Feel free to organize however you want to. A lot of people just let it just fill their inventory. Um, if I had a gold coin for every time I heard somebody say, I can't pick this up because my inventory is full, yeah, that happens a lot. Alright, so next thing on our list is, let's see here. We can get these at the Wondrous Item Shop, but I'm going to grab Gems of Teleportation. Probably about 10 of these. What these are used for, when you go out around town, um, or outside of town, let's see, you get going out there quite a ways, and then you want to come back into town. These will take you exactly one place, and that's next to the tree that we leveled up at in town. So we don't have to traipse all the way back, spawn all those critters all over again, do a bunch more battle just to make it back to town. We can use one of these gems of teleportation. Um, so there's that. Let's see. We're gonna grab. I bought these rings of insight last time because they give you +5 lore. What they didn't do, and what we saw immediately, was they have no light. It turns out, though, that there's a counterpart ring, this ring of scholars, which has the lore +5, also has light. So we're going to grab one of those and wear that for now. And immediately the whole thing lights up, right? Okay. So I think we got enough stuff from her right now. No, we got a couple more things. At some point in the game, in the future, you are going to need a loot breaker. There's a couple of them. What a loot breaker is different types of spells um, will actually blow up or um, break uh, different pieces of loot, items, rocks, etc. Well, there's some places we're going to want to get to. We're going to need some loot breakers, and as a ranger, I don't actually have anything that'll do that. So any of the melee types, etc., we'll need to grab something. There's a fireball one in here, I believe, somewheres. I'm not sure where it is. Either way, I always use this ice storm necklace. If we examine it, you can see down below. You get 4 uses out of it, and it does quite a lot of damage. It's pretty useful. So I'll buy maybe 5 of those. And we'll throw that down in our consumables.
Is that 4 uses per necklace or per rest?
Per necklace.
Necklace.
Yeah. I'll show you. So I'll I can take off my amulet of natural armor. That thing's going away anyways because we got a better one that we can wear. But if I put that on there and I do a right click on it, you can see down to the right, it says Ice Storm (9), but if you look, it's got 4 uses. To be honest, I'm not sure what the 9 means. Somebody out there smarter than me can probably let you
Is that
know.
the level of spell?
It's not. Ice Storm is like a level.
Oh.
It's not level 9 by any means. So we'll put that back in there in the take it off, open the bag, stick it back in the bag. Okay. All right, so we got several of those, and just make sure there's nothing else here I need. We've got this Saint Blood's pearls, which, by the way, the Saint Blood's pearls have several uses. I can't use them just yet, but when you look at them, because of the level that you need on it, you can see that it does cure moderate wounds, does it cure serious wounds, and the reason why we normally get it is this restoration. You get 10 uses, and there's various things you're going to come across that you just need restored from. Okay, disease, whatever, they'll drain you, they'll take your stats away, and you need some way of getting back. Uh, okay, uh, now if you're a caster type person, there's a lot of scrolls at this particular shop. Um, Many of them are useful, especially if you're a wizard, because you can buy them here and then learn them from the one that you bought. Sorcerers don't have that issue because they just choose them when they level up. But a wizard, while they can choose some, they can learn all of them, but they have to find them. They have to have some way to get a hold of it, or they have to take it on leveling. And in general, if you are a wizard on this server, you will always take the higher ground specific spells because there are no scrolls for them. So you will take those as you level up, their higher ground specific spells as you level up, and then when you're done, you'll just learn all the other stuff. Okay, no weapons. There are a lot of gloves here, and feel free to buy buy some gloves if you think that's something that you need. Um, a lot of times, these gauntlets of ogre power uh, are a good choice on a strength ranger or something like that. And then you just keep upgrading to maybe there's a bigger one up here somewheres. I can't remember exactly where, but there you go. Gauntlets of ogre power gives you strength +2. Um, but in general, I'm just not going to buy any of these at the moment. Boots are a problem. Um, we can do some. We can buy something like this. Uh, but if you remember, uh, we one of the types of armor that we can use is dodge. And the only item you can really get it on at the moment is boots. So, because of ILR, which is short for item level restriction, uh, the red that you see on this pair of boots that I'm hovering over right now, the reason why we can't buy it is because it's for monks only. If we were a bard or something like that and we had used magic device, we might be able to get around that. But for most people, from all the boots that you're going to want, um, with some very small exceptions, you have to find. And the ones that we're going to be looking for right off the bat are barrier boots. They're a red boot, uh, and they only have armor class on them. So part of the reason why that works, and I'll just point this out right now, if the more things that you add on an item, the more difficult it will be to wear. So when you have things that are must-haves, like the armor class, you're going to want to have an item that only has armor bonus on it. Uh, that way, you're maximizing your armor bonus. And since that's how you keep from getting hit, that's a big deal. All right, so we pretty much grabbed most of everything from this lady here, the old lady, or the Emporium Items Merchant. And so we're gonna hop over here and grab some armor.
Oi, what can I get you?
Now, Moldy, the sorcerer, can't get any of the armor here. She needs to buy robes. Those robes are located in another location. I'll show you after we get the armor that we're gonna get. Okay. So again, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna buy ahead. This particular ranger doesn't use a shield. It only uses just a weapon. And actually, if you look down in this chat in the combat log, you'll see when I equip it, it'll say equipped as weapon equipped as a two-handed weapon. What that means is that I want to have two hands on it. It's going to give me more damage, which is great at this level. So it's going to give us more damage, but we're going to lose our shield. But on the other hand, because we're a ranger, we pick up wisdom armor. So if we had a shield, we would immediately lose our wisdom armor. And I can show you right now, if I do a list AC, you'll see that one of the options is wisdom 1. If I were to put on a shield, I'm pretty certain that as soon as I do that, here I'll just buy a cheap one, just for the sake of argument, throw it on, take a look at my armor class. It gained 1, but note we lost our wisdom AC. So now we have shield, but we lose the wisdom. Well, you might be tempted to go that route, but as you can see, we can't actually use the bastard sword and have a shield at the same time. We'd have to go with a smaller weapon, less damage, etc., etc. So okay, well, the shield is being weird. So let's buy some armor. What we're after, I just get the drow studded leather armor. There's other types of leather armor. Basically, we're just trying to maximize, get a bunch of dexterity bonus, and also have the armor class, base armor class be high enough. But it needs to be light armor for a ranger. Every class has different restrictions, different feats you can take. So you just want to look it up for whatever you're trying to build, and I hope you're trying to do a ranger too, because they're awesome. Alright, so I'm going to buy armor, the 4 or 5. We can actually get armor in a different location. You can see here we can actually buy up to, I believe, 7. Yeah, there we go. So we can buy all the way up to 7, which is amazing. And then we just put those in our gear bags. I know you're probably asking why I'm not equipping these as I go along, but I'm just storing them first, then we'll come back and equip. Wait a minute. Okay. Alright. So that gets us our armor, our cloak, our amulets. Just put this over here. We're done with these. We're going to equip some new ones. Last time I bought these goggles in Minute Seeing, they have on them lore and search. Lore is great because it helps you identify stuff without having to come to the store. Search is great because there are some secrets in this that we're going to need to come actively search for, and we aren't going to be in town. We aren't going to be able to ask anybody to come help us.
Wait, what can I get ya?
Let's sell some of these things that I've got hanging out now. Okay. Now we'll go on ahead and get geared up a little bit. So we've got it. The highest one we can use is the 2. So we're going to grab that, or the cloak, the amulet, and some armor. Throw that on.
Hello?
Alright. Now, weapons. So we're using a bastard sword. Last time we ran out of cash. We couldn't get a good bastard sword. So we wound up just grabbing. We had to go to the cheap weapons merchant, and we grabbed just a regular old bastard sword. Now we're gonna try to get some with magical bonuses on them. Alright, so we're gonna grab the +1, +2, +3, +4, and we'll grab the +5. Some of these other ones, like the Ripping Claw, have some different setups on them. If you want to look at those, buy some, be my guest. What we're really going to be wanting to do is actually, we're going to want to find some, because you can find them with extra damage on them, and it makes a huge difference. Alright, so let's go to the gear. There's some of these guys in here. We're going to use that one, so we'll put this up here. And let's go on ahead and equip that. Okay. Now, for the sorcerer, you there, Moldy?
Yes.
Okay, there we go. There are some other exotic weapons over here. You're gonna find stuff like all of the ranged weapons, but you're also gonna find some of these items like the Windfire Wheel, the commas, anything that you basically think, oh wow, I didn't find it over there at the melee weapons merchant, but clearly it's a melee weapon like the sickle. Well, it's over here in this other merchant, and I'm not completely sure the reason why, but I think it has something to do with the type of merchant or whatever, but we're not going to worry about it. Basically, if you don't find it over in the melee weapons merchant, hop over to the exotic weapons merchant. And that's it for this guy. Now, I've zoomed in because now you can take a look at this character that I've made. Before we leave here, well, no, I'll wait a little bit. Just give me a second, because I got some other stuff I wanted to show you with modifying your character. Okay, so we're going to leave, and we're going to go to the... Let's see what we got here. We're going to head on over to the Wondrous item shop. Now, we did pick up... see, we did the leather. I should edit these and fix these while we're sitting here, but I think we got everything we wanted there. We got the bastard sword. On to the Wondrous item shop. Straight out and to the right, we've got the Wondrous item shop.
Can I help you?
So, what I'm going to point out is that what you'll notice is I buy things in packs of 50s, because like for resurrection scrolls, those are going to last a very, very long time into the game. and I just get some, stick them in my bag, and I don't really look back on it. So let me go back outside because I totally had the documentation up while I was walking to the store. It's one of those nights. Okay.
Can I help you?
Alright, so let's take a look at what this guy has. We have all of our heal packs. We're going to grab maybe 3 sets of 50 altogether. And if you remember from the first episode and from the second one, oops, I've got too many. Oh well. And I'm just going to drag one of these down to my F6 is what I usually do those on. I'll throw these in the consumables. We may have to get another consumables bag. We'll see. So I just drag that down to my my F6. Now this, unlike the little blue ones that we had, will heal you completely. And we talked a little bit about these summon creature scrolls. If you were playing a sorcerer, like Moldy is, I would recommend grabbing maybe a stack of 20 of these summon creature 4s, or 5s, 6s, or 7s. But the 4s or the 5s or the 6s will be just fine. You don't have to go all the way to 7. Those are guys that can help you out. Heck, I might even just grab some just because I can show you how to use them here in a bit. So I'll grab a stack of 5 of those. And then we've got these res packs here. I just grab a stack of 50 of those. That's basically buying 5 stacks of 10, just so you know. And again, we'll put those up there. As you can see, they're red at the moment. Due to item level restriction, I can't actually use one. Sometimes, if you split and you only take one out, and not in this case, you can actually use it. So we're going to grab some of these raised deads. They're not as good as the resurrections, but we'll grab 5 of those because we did die once already. And it pays to be prepared. Because last time we had to do some fancy finagling to get out of our mess. Okay, so this place also sells gems of teleportation. And I'd like you to take a look that they have quite a few other items here. Feel free to take a peek at them. And if you did throw away your PC book, you always get another one right here. But some of these things, like the eel vellum, you might find a use for later on. And that's really about all that the items merchant has for us at the moment. We did buy these potions of speed, but we're not going to buy them here because if you remember from the making money one, you can get some better stuff over in the Druid's Grove. A lot more expensive, but you can get it there.
Can I help you?
Alright, so I'm going to hop on out of here, and we're going to head over to the Rip's Wretched Brewery. Which is right next door. We're going to come in and talk to the sales associate.
Hi there.
What happened to the deaf guy? Well, I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to come in here, find out yourself. But we are going to look at the wares, take a peek. One of the things I like to get in here is this troll belt. When you're playing low level, you don't really have a lot of good belt options, but this one gives you some regeneration. Then so every round that you're hurt, it will heal you 1 point. I'll go ahead and put that on, and in the future I might want to put on this Troll Shaman belt. It does 2 points and has a little extra ability there. So I'll buy one of those for the future and throw it in one of my gear bags. Okay, so this Rhiannon's Constancy is going to be one of the pair of boots that you can wear that gives you some armor bonus. AC dodge modifier +4, and we can wear it at level 7. So we're going to go on ahead and pick that up now. We may find a pair of boots that's better suited for us, but at this point we'll hang on to it just in case.
Hi there.
Okay, there's a couple of important rings here. We've got this Sage ring, and that protects you against mind affecting spells. It has a couple other things, but we're really after that mind affecting spells. It comes in at 10, and there's some stuff that comes in around then that might actually be useful for. So we'll stick that in our gear bag. The other one is this Rhiannon's Mind. Level 7, you can get some fear immunity, and that is usually one of the funniest parts that you'll see is when people are running away from whatever you're trying to attack. It's also kind of sad because they just die. Hang on to this ring. You're going to need it. And if you don't need it, you're just lucky because you picked up some nice piece of gear. All the best gear is not going to be store-bought. It's going to be out there. You're going to find it somewhere. Okay. So we've got healing potion. We've got our Sage ring, our Rhiannon's Mind. We're going to need some potions. So I just grabbed, again, a stack of 50 because, you know, it's useful to have plenty, and it sucks if you run out. So buy 5 of those, buy 5 of those. Throw them in your consumables bag. We are getting a full consumables bag. We might have to steal another one. Steal one of these other ones to catch the overflow. And that's about all we want from the sales associate in here. I just point out there's some other people in here to talk to. There's this traveling merchant over here. We've got Marim Muttermit and the gossip lady. Stay away from her. She's nobody you want to talk to. Yeah, that's a prostitute. We don't talk about the prostitute. If you're ever lucky enough to find undead prostitutes, aka zombies, they could get you a lot of XP. Alright, next we're going to the Alchemist. He's over here on the end of town. He has all the goods, all the good potions. When you're low level, item level, you can't just put +12 on a ring for strength or something like that. You've got to piece it together from all the different parts. And the Alchemist has the potions that are going to help you with all of your main stats. So I'm going to grab, and really this is a personal preference. If you're a sorcerer, you definitely want to get some charm packs because they have, where are they? Charm packs. There we go. The white ones here, because they have bonuses to charisma. Sorcerer's main stat is charisma. You want to get it. I am not going to get any of them because I don't need any charm, but I am going to need most of these other ones. And as you can guess, I'm going to do stacks of 50 is what I'm shooting for. So I'm going to get some wisdom, some strength, dexterity. It says agility. The health pack is for constitution. Clarity. Okay, so this isn't a stat, but this guy sells these clarity potions. You could have got some in, what is it, Rips, I think. Maybe Rips? I can't remember. One of the other stores sells single clarity potions, and if that's the way you want to go ahead and do that. But you're gonna be here 50 times trying to get a stack of 50. And in this store, it's only, 5. Monstrous regeneration. Same reason to get it from the troll belt. A little extra healing every time is useful. So we'll grab that. Again, no charm pack. And what I'm going to do with these, low level, what I usually do, in the order that I want to use them, I'm going to drag them down to F12, 11, 10, 9, 8, and 7. So I'm going to start with strength. Doesn't really matter, but wisdom, agility, etc., etc. And we'll get this monstrous regen. Now, some of these I don't use all the time. I use them periodically. The clarity one will be for if I find myself dazed or something along those lines. I will use these clarity packs. So when I hold down the control key, I get a whole nother quick slot bar, and I can just drag straight down, and there it is. So now I have clarity there. If you remember, I had a couple others in my consumables. I had negative energy. We'll go on ahead and put that down there, and a potion of true seeing. We do have this autocaster, and I'm going to use it. So maybe what I'll do, look at this, I can rearrange so easily. I'll put that one right there, because that is how I do it actually. And we'll drag the clarity pack over to here. Now we're going to try to get all these in here, but it looks like we just ran out of space for that. So I'm going to go on ahead and steal one of my loot bags, and we'll change the name of it to consumables as well. Now it says consumables. I'll open that up, throw some of these in here. Now if some of you old timers are watching this and you're thinking, I don't do this at all, well, good for you. I do it, and so other people can do it too. Play however you want to play. This isn't gonna be perfection. It'll definitely get you a long ways though. Okay, so the Alchemist has another item over here on the tail end. Well, first off, he has this great big gold glass still, which is awesome, but we don't need it. He's got all kinds of interesting poisons and whatnot, but what I really want to draw your attention to is this universal die kit. Okay, I'm going to buy one of those, and what that allows you to do is change colors on stuff. Maybe you care about this, maybe you don't. Generally I don't, but I'm going to show you how it works real quick in case you do. So the first thing to do is get a list. You come up here and you use the item, and you come down and it says unique power, self only. We're going to use that.
How are ya?
It opens up a dialogue, and one of the things I'm going to do is I'm just going to look at the color lists. Now, we're wearing leather armor, so most everything for us is cloth, leather colors. There are metal colors, there are cloth colors. what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the cloth leather colors, and what it did is it gave me a list here inside my combat chat of the value associated with each one of those. I'm going to do some orange. Because that's what my character looks like. So let's see here. Let's try light orange, 34. So increase by 10. It's keeping a count down here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Set this as the index. And that was 34, and that one was light orange. And so I'm going to change the name of that to light orange. And now we have a die kit. It says light orange. So I'm going to go on ahead and test it out. I didn't get anything out of that. But we did get orange out of that. Let's see how close that is to my... it's close enough. So we'll do that one. And then because I don't want to really mess with this stuff too much, I'm going to go on ahead and do the same to my armor. Okay, wait. What happened there? We did not get all of our orange. Oh, I know what it is. It's... Okay, honestly, I already knew this, but I just wanted to say it to you. If there's more options than just what you see here, you have to come up to this guy here, and it'll tell you what all of these are. Leather 1. Leather 2. Oh yeah, now we're looking good. Who knows, maybe there's some metal rivets on there. So we'll just go through every one of these. Did you just laugh, Moldy?
Yes.
Why are you laughing? I like to
It's
look...
very orange.
It's very orange, and it looks great. Okay, so earlier I was mentioning about this helmet. Well, I always take the little guy with the hood on him when I do these little short guys. There's an option for that too. It's you could take away the helmet and you can just show your head there. So the command is opt invis helm, and voila, I have my little orange guy with all my orange gear. So that's how you can do some small crafting with the guy in terms of dye colors. You can also change the look of your armor and stuff by going to crafting skills, and there's a whole lot of options here we're not going to explore. I find that it takes, when I have a tune that's at the end, I will a lot of times spend an evening or something like that trying to make my guy look cool or whatever. But in general, when I'm leveling, either I'll just wear what I get as I get it, or I'll just do like the one color like I did with this guy. So I'm not going to do any of this crafting, but it's there. So now we have our little guy who is all orange. Made Moldy laugh, made my night. And I guess now we're going to go on ahead and head out to the next store. Okay, so there's a secret area back here. If you watched episode 2, you saw it before. And we're going to sneak right back here. Okay. And we're going to talk to Shulg. Shulg? It's a terrible name. Shulg of the Bow. Only because
What do
my
you want?
human voice can't really pronounce it very well. And he's clearly humanoid, so whatever. Okay, so let's talk to him.
What do
Buy
you
some
want?
gear. What we're after here,
What do you want?
the number one thing I'm after, is this stack, this speed pack right here. The speed pack is awesome because if you had to buy those speed potions one at a time, they wear out really fast and you have to keep buying them. So I'm just going to drag this down to my quick bar because I love having it there. Drop that stack into my consumables, and then we have a couple other things to look at. So one of the issues low level is disease and poison. And I'm not talking about the prostitute, I'm talking about just regular old disease. You're going to come across some nasty stuff, you're going to step in it, whatever, you're going to get disease. Some of the critters will give it to you. So either there is Potion of Antidote, which cures poison, okay, or there's Neutralize Poison Scroll. Either one does just fine. One's 800 gold roughly, the other's 450 gold roughly. I'll just go ahead and buy a stack of 10 of these Potions of Antidote just to have on hand in case I get poisoned. And then we have this Remove Disease Scroll here for 530 gold, and I think there might be, I don't know if there is or not. There actually doesn't look like there is a Cure Disease potion, so we're just gonna go on ahead and grab 10 of these as well. I'm going to tell you one of the first things I'm going to try to find is some rings that give me more protection. And one of the things I'll be after on those rings is protection from disease, protection from poison. So, okay, and we'll drag those guys down to the quick slot as well. Again, the ones that I don't use a lot, I stick on under the control. The ones that I use every time are going up top. I can clear out this gear and loot stuff there on the quick bar. Okay, so that's pretty much all I need from here. I will grab some of these lesser restoration potions as well. We don't have access to the pearls yet, so those will come in pretty handy if we do happen to get poisoned or whatnot. Okay. Well, what are we missing? Well, if we look at our guy, we don't have gloves or boots. There might be some boots that can help us out. I'm not going to worry about it too much at this point, because I'm going to want to replace them as soon as I get some barrier boots. Okay, so one of the things I like to do early on is try to find an item with haste on it. Most of the things that you get in the store with haste come with a bunch of other stuff on them, and ILR doesn't really work very well on it. You can't really use haste items until about level 6 or level 7. So we have these speed potions, these speed packs to get us to that point. But right north of town here, there is a cave. So let's go take a peek in there. We lost our sorcerer. There we go. There's a cave in here. Two of them, actually. And either one of them can produce these haste items. You have to farm it. And it's not always easy because there's some spiders in there that are kind of tough. But there's another thing in this area I wanted to show you. And that is that we got these guys shooting us. Look at that. We already got ourselves damaged. We've got poisoned. Let's come over to this pile of debris. Suppose I should heal. Ah, okay, okay. I see. So we're gonna need ourselves some that raised dead scroll because Moldy's died. Let's go ahead and drag that down there. Come on into this cave over. Did you just go down again? You just went
I'm
down again.
squishy.
You are squishy. So we should have maybe taken some... make sure you heal after this. And I'll kill these guys over here. Okay, so... So here's what we're going to do. Moldy, come on back out. We're going to come out into this corner here. And we're going to show how to use the sorcerer properly. Come on back over down by the gate here. Way down by the gate here. Okay. Now those scrolls, those summon scrolls, plop one of those out. Okay, so you're going to find out that those summon scrolls that you buy in the store are fairly tough. But as you'll see up on the ledge here, there's guys that we can't do anything about. They're going to kill us. They have bows, and they got ranged attacks, and we don't have a ranged attack to kill them. So let's hop into this cave. And we'll talk a little bit about armor class. When you're just standing there, you're what they call flat-footed, and you lose different aspects of your armor class. And if I do a list AC here, you'll see down below that you've got this total 22, current 21. Well, the 21 is because I lose my dexterity bonus while I'm standing there, which is not good. But also, one of the things that's happening is we don't have any protection against arrows, and we're going to have to try to find some gear to help us out with this. If you do this is a new command, list immunities. It's going to show you all the different types of damages that you can take. Now there's two parts to that. One is a percentage reduction. So you can find a ring that says bludgeoning 5%, which means that it's going to reduce whatever the damage is coming to you by 5%. But there's another part which is damage reduction. You can get something that'll be like 5 slash. That 5 slash means that the very first 5 points are just going to go away. They don't matter. And when you're only getting plunked for 2 or 3 points, that's the majority of everything out there. So it's a huge part of the survival, and we're going to see some more of this as we go down and take on beetles and whatnot. Not so much with bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing, which are all the physical damages, but there's electrical, fire, sonic, cold, acid. Those guys are all the elemental damages, and there's a lot of that early on. So when you go into one area, every time you hit something, it's going to cause you to take damage. What we typically will call kickback. We're not there yet, but that's coming up. Okay, so in this place, all these loot items, we just go through the loot, or go through all these spots, and we try to find items that have haste on them. Here's a nice item, this Helm of the Elements. If you look at it, it's just what I was just talking about. It's got the 5 slashes for each of the acid, cold, electric, and fire. Can't wear it till level 7. If that's largely because it's also got armor bonus +3 on it. If you look, we had that ring that we purchased. The ring has 10s on everything, but it doesn't have that armor +3, and therefore we're able to wear it at level 4. So ILR, or item level restriction, plays a big role in what type of gear you want to wear early on, what gear you're going to wear, because just because of what you were seeing right there. To that end, when we're looking for a haste item, we don't want it to be on armor, because the only way you can get armor AC is by wearing armor. We don't want it to be on the boots, because the only way you can get dodge AC outside of spells and whatnot is by wearing the boots. And the item level restriction says that if you have more items on there, your armor class is going to have to go lower. So we don't want haste plus armor on there. We just want haste, or we just want armor. The cloak is a good option. The belt is an option. Gloves is an option, and so is the helmet. All of these use deflection, and because there's multiple types of items in different slots that we can wear, those make really good options for items with haste. Oh, and rings. Obviously not the amulet, because that's the only place we get natural armor. Not on your shield, etc. But if you can find it on rings or helmet, or bracers, or gloves, those are all great options. The cloak isn't such a good one, just because I already bought a bunch of cloaks that have deflection armor on it. So my buying might have messed me up there, but it's hard to find. Otherwise, you would have to find items with deflection on it as well. So, Moldy, if you want to grab all this loot, feel free. I just wanted to show that one. And if you want that helmet, you can have it. Okay, so here's something to note. When you have a summons will have a side effect. In this module, they're buffed up. When they're buffed up, they're stronger and more powerful. The more powerful your party is, the more summons you get. So here we got 4. You just let the tiger do all the work here. Chances are, if we didn't have the tiger, we might only got 2. So on the one hand, if you have the tiger, you're getting more XP, etc., but the stuff is a little bit tougher. So just be aware of that. Now we're going to go in here and I'm going to actually show you. I'll pop up my character here, show my inventory. What we're going to do is first we're going to restore. It looks like I'm still poisoned, so I need to get rid of that. So I'll take this potion of antidote. Okay, now we're all good. And I'm going to jack up all my stats now. So I'm going to use these potions that I've got quick slotted, and I'm just going to run down the list. F12, F11, 10, 9, 8, and 7. And currently we're at 21 AC. We went to 23 AC. Now we're at 27. So we gained 6 points of AC there. That will make me much harder to hit now. I'm gonna go take on this next round of spiders. Now, poor Moldy does not have a ton of things that she can do because she's such a low level. And basically, you get levels, you get spells. And she doesn't have a lot of spells right now, so she can't do a lot of work. That will change fairly rapidly. It's probably, you know, level 10-ish or something like that. She's going to start being able to help a lot. I'm just going to let you grab all the loot. Some of you out there probably noticed that I have a level to take. I'm going to actually take that now real quick. Ranger. I'm going to boost all the skills that I already have. So I wanted to make this build pretty straightforward. And I haven't put the document out there, but I will. To that end, we just basically take a level, and the playing is just you go up and you beat on stuff. But you'll notice that there are all kinds of skills here. One that's really useful is this pickpocket skill. The pickpocket skill, there are many critters in this game that heal, and they will have 3, 4 potions. If you can steal their potions from them, if you can pickpocket their potions from them, those battles will go much faster. I'm not going to do that, but just know that that's an option. There's many other options that are similar to that, but for now, I'm not doing it just because I don't want to really complicate the way that the Ranger gets played. Okay, more spiders. Every now and then you get a spider back in here. I can't hit him, I can't reach him. Someday, maybe that'll be fixed, but for now, he's harmless, he just stays back there. Okay, so this was a skeleton, and the only thing in there was this ring of greater cold resistance. I'm just going to say that, like I mentioned before, a lot of the skeletons' bodies, they have some set loot there. That might be one of them. Alright, so we've been getting 4 spiders per spawn, I think, roughly. I'm also not a big fan of all this metagaming, but because I'm trying to explain how this works, it's important. Here we go. Here's a cloak now that has several resists on it. It's down to level 5, whereas if we look at that helmet, let me drag this off into, let's take a look at the, where did I put the helmet? Did I put it in the gear? I didn't think I did. Did I give you the helmet there?
No.
Okay, here it is. I found it. Okay, so if I'm looking at these two side by side, I've got a Zentrum Cloak +2. Requires level 5. Has 5s across the board for acid, cold, electric, and fire. It also has +2 AC, and the level required is level 5. If I look at the helmet, everything is the same except it has concentration +1. The armor bonus is +3. Now we have to be level 7, and this is what I was talking about. The more things you get on it, the higher the level will be required. So at this very low level, we need to keep things very simple. We got somebody saying some stuff. Okay, so we have somebody in the chat. Hello, Get Ghosted.
Hello.
Bring your friends. Actually, just come play. Alright, so we're out of... oh, looks like we got some more critters coming at us.
I love this.
Alright, so our stuff is worn off. All of our buffs have worn off because we waited for a while, and I apologize that I'm not looking at the chat. It's actually to my left, and I should move it a little bit closer so I can see it, but if you get on there, eventually I'll see it, and if you type something, I'll go on ahead and try to respond to you. Here I am, all poisoned again. The spiders are great for that.
There is behind that rock over here a loot bag. How do I get that?
Well, you know, probably what you're going to have to do to get that, and good eyes, is you're going to have to use a loot breaker, which we can try this, but the issue might be that we might actually break the loot because I'm not that skilled at it. But we'll give it a shot. That rock that's in front of it, I'm going to guess, can be destroyed. So here we go. I'm going to cast it out a ways, and hopefully I can catch just the edge of the rock. Well, that looked good to me.
Yeah.
Oh, and I got it. There's... Oh, it didn't destroy it? Very interesting. I don't even know what's in it.
There's a quickening earth 2 belt and lots of feathers.
We got feathers. What?
I have 3 feathers.
Huh. Well, If you were ever wondering where you could find a feather, that is one spot. There might be more. Okay, no haste items. We're too low level to actually use them anyways. But I just want to point out that this is an area that can be farmed for them. And they're pretty coveted. The items that I would look for, there's a helm called the Swifting Helm, one of my favorites. There's a ring called Vitter's Velocity. That's also a great one. I don't know of any belts, but there's several bracers that you'll find. And this is one of the locations you can find them down below in some of the early tags. There's some areas you can find them there too. Alright. We're back out here. Don't have any buffs on. We're just going to run back into town. Your dire tiger can take care of them if you want. That tiger is still running from when you first cast the very first scroll, correct? Moldy?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Okay, so I think for the most part we're geared up. We're orange. We like being orange. And we're ready to go do some more tagging. So if I'm going to take a look at my tags that I've accomplished, I would do !list, ACC, which is short for account, and PRELL. The PRELL stands for pre-legendary level. And you can see we've got a whole bunch to do. We've done the very first one. So, got the gearing. We got about 15 minutes left here. I think we can get a couple of these tags done. What do you think?
I think so.
All right. Well, we're gonna run on, and we'll just go to the next one, which is the Black Dragon Disciple, level 10. And normally, you might wonder why I have the HUD on at times. It's because sometimes I play with people, sometimes they're saying stuff and they don't want other people to see it, etc. But I usually play with this little HUD on just for that reason. Today it's not a big deal, and a lot of things I'm trying to show you I need it off for. So, alright, so do you know how to get there? Moldy?
I don't remember where that one is.
What? Okay.
Have you already defeated the half-orc bandit? Oh, yes, you have. You did that on the first one.
Yeah, remember we died? We didn't have
Yeah, I
good
created
gear
a
or
character.
nothing, and we died. And then I had to fugue, which is a fancy way of saying what I used to say a different way. And then I had to port back in. It was kind of messy.
So you can do tags out of order, correct? You just can't go past the level limit.
That's absolutely correct. And when you're doing these, you won't necessarily want to do them in the order that they're listed eventually. But this is as if you're playing first time through, so we'll just try to do them in order. In this case, we're going to go... Oops, we stepped through. I'm going to buff real quick. Again, just hitting all those buttons. And we're going to go off to find the Black Dragon Disciple. Actually, if you look just up to the right, there's a transition there. And he's through that area. There's a tower in there that we're going to go find. Either Moldy could lead. Looks like you finally lost your tiger.
Yes.
You could lead and show us how to deal with just letting your summons do all the killing. And I'll chill. I'll just hang back here with you, even though I'm all buffed up and ready to go. And we'll just see what that tiger can do. So why don't you run on up there, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so here we go. Sorcerer runs in, gets the critters all angry, and then runs back out. And then the tiger takes care of them. That's it. I'll note that you can, if you're the owner of the critter, which this tiger's just owning everything. But if stay away from the quicklings, they'll steal your stuff. You can actually buff the tiger with potions. So you can give him a haste potion, you can give him a strength potion, you can buff him up. And druids, when you play druids, they have a lot of spells that'll do that. They have some other ones. I actually, as a ranger, will get some that are like Greater Magic Fang or Fang that will help a lot too. Looks like I didn't finish leveling. I'm gonna go do that real quick while we're right in the middle of battle. Your tiger's got this, right?
Yeah.
I am going to take power attack because it's required for cleave. Or I could take weapon focus bastard sword. Let's do the weapon focus bastard sword. This will do is give me an extra bonus to hit with it. By the way, you can also heal your summons with the heal potions. Alright. And as Get Ghosted was talking about before, the damage reduction when I showed the 5 slash is it doesn't stack, and what that means is that if you find 2 items with 5s, 5 slash for cold, for example, it won't be 10, it'll just be 5. It'll take the highest one of them. The percentages, on the other hand, do stack. So if you had an item with 10% bludgeoning resist, and you had another one that had 10%, you would, and you were wearing both of them, you would get the 20%. Okay, well hopefully we'll get to see some healing going on here because I buffed with the regeneration and I have that belt on, and sure enough you can see it in here. We've got 1 hit point, healed. I didn't do anything, they're just going back up. And it looks like I just lost speed, so it's probably about time for me to rebuff.
comes halfling death!
Did you take a male voice on that?
Okay, so I didn't realize that the Yuan Ti was a female, and so my entire build is a male.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Yon T
So
actually has it only has the one model that's female. It might even only just be female lore-wise too, I'm not sure. Okay, so we lost these guys. I can't see them. They're invisible. So I'm going to use this potion of true seeing. And voila. They're dumping on me. Alright, well, let's see what level I am. I am only level 3. I still can't wear that ring. Okay. Yes, I'm blocking the way for the tiger, so I'm going to come back in here. Maybe he can come in and help, maybe not. And I've gained a level. And we've got Sparkles. So we've beat him. He wasn't too tough. There are quite a lot of critters around. Now I can finally wear that ring. What's that level again? There are a ton of scrolls in this area. If you look around, you can find them. So now if I go on ahead and look at my accomplishments again with the list ACC PRELL, we'll find that we have just taken out the Dragon Disciple in his tower. And the next person would be the Hive Mother Beetle. I think we have just enough time to run down there, maybe, or not. What do you think, Moldy?
I'm good.
Alright, so we're gonna head on down there. I'm gonna run on ahead of you there. I'm gonna put on, well, we'll wait, because that, I can show you something with the beetles. Now, do you have anything that'll give you some resists for electric or fire?
Yeah, so I just picked something up, but I need a level 5 to get it.
Well, that's not going to happen right now, is it?
No.
So I'm going to take a level. I'm going to bump my strength by 1. Should be noted that you can hold on to these skills if you don't want to take them right now. They may not even give you any benefit. Some of these might go in sets of 5. So you can just skip right past them. It's not the end of the world. So next level I can take 2 at a time, for example. And that puts me at level 4. What level are you at?
I'm taking my level 4.
Okay. And something to note is that the Yuan-Ti subrace actually gets a 10% XP bonus over everything else. So, you're lucky. And 10% is nothing to sneeze at. That can be a fair amount. Okay, so we're gonna go down. We're gonna enter into this cave over here. I don't know where Moldy's going.
Moldy doesn't know where they're going either.
Just wanted to run down the hill. I will point out that there's stuff in a lot of these loot spots. I'm not bothering too much to pick them up because I don't want to spoil it for you. But we're just gonna come in here and take out some beetles, and we gotta go down a couple levels. I happen to know the way, so we're gonna kind of head through them really fast. I'm gonna come up into this corner.
Oh.
You might think that that's the one that we're going after, but it's not. It is a big beetle, though. It's actually pretty crazy for such an old game that they got some of the as big of models as they actually did. So there's some nice chests if you want to loot them all. Yeah, 10% plus XP is amazing. It sure beats a 20% XP penalty. So down in this area is one of the reasons why I take strength tunes instead of dex tunes. There is a path that we have to take, and to get through it, we've got boulders that we've got to break. You could bash them. Bashing is a normal thing for Neverwinter Nights, but man, I'm telling you, these boulders, even with the damage I'm doing, take a lot of hits. If you're using the ice necklaces, you'd have to use a ton of them. Right here, these boulders here, there's a little trick you can do, Moldy. I'll show you after. So if you come over and start bashing these, okay, Notice how you're not doing a whole lot to it, right? But what you can do is you can tell your dire tiger to guard you, and if you do that, he will come over like he's doing now and start beating on him as well. Now, if I was a dexterity-based ranger, this would be a nightmare. It's already gonna take quite a while. Look at that. Well, looks like I forgot to get something from town. Oh yeah. If your tiger, if you're not careful, he'll destroy the loot. Yeah. It's not a problem. But you got that pixie, right?
Yeah.
So why don't you summon your pixie, disarm the chest and whatnot with the pixie. You can unsummon that tiger if you want. I don't know how many scrolls you got, but you should have plenty of gold by now. So there is a secret area in here too, but you got to have a specific setup or you can't get into it. Now you might recall, Moldy, that we actually went through those orcs and next to that tower to get down below to the hive belly.
Oh.
So this is a little different way. I'm gonna buff again. Aw, man. Run all the way back there for nothing. So a lot of people get discouraged by playing Sorcerer early level because you have to rely on your summons. Now, Moldy, you've taken a Sorcerer now all the way up to level 60. And what would you say about the strength of the Sorcerer?
It's quite powerful.
Yeah, it's just not at these low levels, right? So if you're just a little bit patient, eventually, even with the low level stuff, like you think about some of the death spells that you were casting, they speed up some of these runs really dramatically.
Because I could have Circle of Death to everything.
Mm-hmm. I should point out that if you had a wizard, like I mentioned, level up a wizard, make yourself a scroll maker, then you could come in here with scrolls like that and actually just keep using Circle of Death and killing everything.
Yeah.
So that's something that, of course, we're not trying to do. Anything fancy here? No. We're trying to avoid all the cheese and whatnot and just do this straight forward. There's some loot over here if you want to get it, but it'll spawn some spiders if you know, I'll kill them.
Woohoo!
So later on in the game there is a ton of kickback, etc., etc. Getting the correct immunities is insanely important on this server. I say that because what you're going to see here is now, oh, I'm going to take damage from all these guys. It's not a ton, but man, it's killing me. So if I just put on that ring that I had, I'm going to hide real quick over here because I need to find it real quick. All of a sudden, all those 3s and everything else go from 3s, 2s, 1s to nothing but 0s. This is a mechanic that's used heavily in this game. So it's good practice to see what kind of immunities you need for areas and try to get yourself geared for it and have those types of gear. Obviously this low level, we're just trying to, fortunately we can buy most things from the store, but like I said, those like the bludgeoning, slashing, piercing, those are things that you're gonna have to find.
I love this part!
Actually, Moldy, you didn't get that tag last time, did you?
I was cutting out what?
You didn't get the tag last time, did you? That was a different character, right?
Yeah.
We should have gone and got that for you real quick. That's why you're not ahead of me in levels. You just hiding there?
Yeah, I was also taking a level.
Ah, good call. So remember, because you haven't done that first accomplishment, you're gonna have to do the
Apple.
you're gonna have to hold it 7 if we go past that. Okay, right up there is going to be the boss. We got some guys
Here
coming up
comes
behind you.
Halfling.
Okay. Yeah, raw casting power. So basically the way sorcerers work, they get so much power and they don't have to memorize spells, but they only get so many spells. And they can also channel multiple spell slots, so to speak. So you could use, and doing so will increase your caster level, I believe is what happens. A wizard, on the other hand, can cast pretty much any spell it can get a hold of that's arcane anyways. But they have to prepare their spell book every time. This shows up in a couple of places. If you have a high level wizard and a high level sorcerer side by side, you strip all their gear off and then you put it back on and you rest. The sorcerer will have all their spells right back where they were. The wizard will have to redo their whole spell book. However, the wizard can load up on whatever spells are necessary for that particular area, whereas the sorcerer just gets what they get. You got the Hive Mother belly. That's what we needed from her to go to the wizard with, so we're good there. Do you want to go hit the Kuo-toa real quick? Yes? No?
Sure.
You go grab a burger and some fries or something? I don't know.
Oh, can you not hear me anymore?
No, I can hear you. I'm just saying
Oh.
stuff. So last time I didn't take my my skill points just to show that I could take them later. And so now I'm taking them and we're all good. I have a new favorite enemy. Let's go on ahead and take... doesn't really matter too much. Let's do reptilian humanoids. We're gonna go face some right now, so that's cool. The coolest thing about Ranger with their cold shot doesn't actually take effect until level 35, which is kind of a drag.
Here comes Halfling.
But you can still get extra damage put on your weapon. I haven't done any spells yet. I should have a few now that I can take. I have one. So I'm just gonna wait and hold off until I have a few more. So, Get Ghosted is pointing out he has General Wizard and he's pretty powerful. And that's generally true. One of the biggest things you can do with a wizard that's really nice for exploring a mod is you can pair it with Rogue. So you can take a splash of Rogue, what they call a splash. You can hold on to your skill points until the very end, like say level 40. And then you can dump all those skill points into different skills. So you can get all the search and open lock, disarm, etc., etc. It makes it really nice for soloing a lot of the mid-range type content. This will probably be the last tag that we do tonight. Oh, I should have pointed out that the what is that guy? The Black Wizard, something other, Disciple Wizard, the Tower guy, drops a couple of weapons that are low-level weapons, and you can farm there until you get, like, for example, I could get a Bastard Sword that has extra dice 6 of damage on it for a particular element. Right now, it's very plain vanilla. It just has enhancement bonus +1. There's also an item over in this area over here. That can help get you some enhancement bonus on your weapon. So there are several of those spread throughout the game. They're meant to help people like Rangers, whatnot. Rangers kind of a poor example because they get Blade Thirst eventually, but which gives them their own enhancement. But over in this area over here, somewheres out here, in one of these little places, show you it's a pretty good sized area. One of the loot spots is an item that will help you get enhancement bonus on your weapon. And like I said, there's several of those. You just have to play and find them.
I picked up the Dissolution Sword. Do you want it?
What is it?
It's a
Is it a
damage bonus. Yeah, it's acid, 1 die 6 damage.
Yeah, but what kind of sword is it?
The Bastard Sword.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I want. And thank you. It's also useful if you have a oh no. Wait a minute. Now it's just... There we go. That's from before. I'm getting tired. Okay, so here we can see that we got 1 die 6 damage. Cool factoid. There are unappraised gems that you can find. You're going to have to search. They are random. They don't just pop out anywheres, or people will farm them like mad. In this case, they look just like these quartz crystals here, but they say unappraised gem. If you get one of those, and you identify it, it will come out as one of the element with 1 die 6 on it, and you can actually change your sword from being acid to say sonic or whatever. And with a few collections of those, I would hold off because I haven't put the weapon on. If you get a few of those weapons, then you can switch rapidly between them. So, Get Ghosted plays on a different server. Do you only go up to level 20 on that server? Because the builds that I'm seeing are 19.1, 17.3. Well, anyways, at some point. So now I have that acid, but I've lost a point in my my AB, my attack bonus. But I'm gonna be so happy because now I get extra die 6 of damage on these guys. Also, if I had electric or fire on here, when you cast those spells on me, it would actually increase the dice, not just the damage.
Oh.
Yeah, so like if I had, well, I have the 1 die 6, you cast your thing, it'll go to 2 die 6. But since I don't have that, it only gives me a die 4. Kind of interesting. I could show that again. So if I look at my weapon, right now I have electrical 1 die 4 damage and fire 1 die 4 damage, and then I have what came on the weapon was acid 1 die 6. If those 1 die 4, if I had had electric or fire on the weapon, and fire would be a great choice, uh, and you cast your fire weapon buff, it would go from 1 die 6 to 2 die 6. So it's a big bonus if you can craft your weapon to match the tunes that you're partying with, etc., etc. You can get some pretty good stuff out of that. So Get Ghosted says it is a low level, I mean a level 20 server with low magic that he plays on, and it points out a good, interesting thing, which is Neverwinter Nights has just a ton of different servers, play styles. Of course, it's an old game, so a lot of them are going away, but with the enhanced edition, some came back, so that's good. I wish we could get on enhanced edition here. There's some issues with it. By the way, this is one of the loot spots that you can get haste out of. So if you see the little sparks fly out of it, chances are you've got a haste item in there. All right.
Woo-hoo!
Uh-oh. I got knocked down from the grease. Step out of it. There we go. It's a nice crit. 95. Okay, so let's head into this this barracks over here. There are 2 spots in the barracks that also could produce haste items. Now be careful, there's going to be a lot of mobs in here. I will try to run out ahead and gather them up, but let me buff real quick. That's a good point. I should take a peek at my gear real quick because I bought all that gear, and see what I can move up to. Yep, I'm ready to wear the level 3 stuff. I mean +3 stuff, so I'm gonna go on ahead and re-gear real quick. Oh, and look at that, I wasn't even wearing my amulet anymore because I was showing off. And of course we've got to make ourselves orange real quick because that's obviously important. I'm guessing nobody cares about making yourself orange or green or doing any of that stuff, but
I think it's cool. I just can't make any changes to my outfit.
no, that's one of the downsides to that particular sub race is that you're stuck looking the way you look. which could be worse, right?
Yeah.
Always protect the sorcerer. Protect the casters. 130. That was nice. Okay, so here's the these barrels. So there's 4 of them, and some of them will paralyze you. So don't try to open them when you got mobs that you need to kill. I've actually pulled some level 40 gear out of these before. Just...
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, it just, when I was first learning how to make money, and I didn't do it the way that it's done in the other video, I would farm these barrels. I would cross servers to get, you know. Alright, that's about it. All the rest of the loot is kind of crap, unless you like fish. Do you like fish? Did you find
No.
some? Yeah, these crates have fish in them, I think. So, I mean, I guess if you opened up a restaurant in the town of Ascension, you could get some corn and some fish. Utilize some of your fire spells. Have a nice barbecue. Oops. Looks like some stuff spawned there. Oh, nice. You took care of business, huh?
All the summons did.
Yeah, I should point out that it's pretty hard for this ranger to solo everything from 0 to 40. It's pretty darn hard. The sorcerer, way more possible. But the 2 of us together, even better. You can see my dexterity's low. Keep falling down.
Woohoo!
So here's the first of the series of rings that we gotta get. There's 4 of them all together. There's water breathing, levitation, pass wall, and what's the other one? Fire walking. I think, something like that. This one is water ring. You need to wear those occasionally to get into certain places. It becomes a factor when you're trying to figure out what gear to wear. Uh-oh. I'm gonna come out of that.
Here comes halfling death!
Yeah, maybe so if I don't. Well, we're just about done. We've got one more kind of area to go through. That all those loot spots, any one of them could hold a haste item as well, so you probably want to go through them all. So here we have a haste item. If you want to come pick it up, I'll kill that guy. We have a haste item, but it's a piece of armor. And like I said before, you don't really want to do the armor because it's the only way that you can get it's the only way that you can get armor class, so nothing, huh?
No.
Well, there's a reason why it's called rare loot.
Yeah.
Bet those eggs could make some good omelets if you had a restaurant here. Go ahead. Okay, on to the boss, and we're about done.
Here comes halfling death!
We're gonna pop into here real quick. Kill these guys. This isn't where the tag is, but we got loot in here, so I might as well. So there's some fun items in here.
Oh.
The dust.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, it is. Now you know. Dust of disappearance. You can use it, I think, for one time. It gives you, I think it only works once and then it disappears, but it gives you invisibility. It's useful, for example, if you wanted to cross the East Road with all those bandits that are really nasty, just to get over to the crossroads to pick up Ultim. That's a great use for it. And here we go. This will be the tag. Oh, better come in here. There we go. It's the cheese. Haha. Okay, feel free to loot. I'm gonna port back to town. Using one of those gems of teleportation. And I'm gonna show one thing that you can do with the gems of teleportation. This visual that you see here with the red and the white swirling can be changed. I believe it's port FX. And then I think it'll tell you what you gotta do to change your teleport effect. Enter port FX, visual, and then they tell you all the different stuff that you can put. I'm just gonna change mine to, let's see, we'll do a helix, and we'll do holy and acid. How about that? Does that work? Let's give it a shot. Ha! You might think I chose those colors at random, but I bet Moldy thinks I didn't.
Yeah. Were they green and yellow?
They were green and yellow.
Go Ducks.
Yeah. Okay, well I think that's going to be it for today. Covered a lot.
You want to talk about, or have you talked about Encumbria yet?
No, I haven't. But
I'm
I don't
getting
have
pretty
enough
close
stuff to go
it.
there. What's that?
Oh,
So,
enough.
so you can hold 150 items, and at any point you can do exclamation point count all, and it'll tell you how many items you have. Right now I have 87 of 150. When I breach 150, I go to 151. If I happen to come into town, and I'm not out on the road, you know, looting and pillaging, whatever, it'll warp me off to Encumbria. There's probably some server reasons why they do that. Undoubtedly, it's because they don't want you to load up too many resources on one toon and cause everybody else on the server lag, but I'm just speculating. Either way, go to Encumbria. You can sell some stuff there. Cute factoid, because I like saying factoid. Encumbria is the only place that will buy certain types of items. There are a couple stores on the server. If you find that you can't find anybody to buy your item, then you probably haven't hit the right store yet. I think that's about it, though. Do you have anything else to add there, Moldy?
I think so.
Alright. Well, there's a lot of gearing going on this episode. Next time, it should be mostly just leveling and doing accomplishments. We might pop in and look at some of the early quests, because some of these items I've been talking about, like this Ring of Elemental Resistance, which I'm sorry I took the only one that was there, Moldy, but
Yeah.
anytime you come back onto a server again, you can buy one. And you probably can use any one of these items that has those already on them anyways. I have that cloak and I have that helmet here if you need them. But, oh, and here's that ring, by the way. Ring of Water Breathing. Stick that back here on this back page. Put this back in my gear bag. We're going to talk about using your bank chest is a big thing coming up, because the bank chests are there to help you carry gear over from one toon to another. So if you have something really fancy that you use only at level 10, you can stick it in the bank, in one of the bank chests, and then later pull it out on that other toon. Just the same way I pulled money out with this toon, even though I deposited it on a different tune.
I think it would be even helpful to just have like a bag or a chest in your bank that has just gear for low level tunes.
Yep.
Because I have created one tune, and that was my first tune, and I sold all of my pre-gear stuff or
Mm-hmm.
my pre-legendary stuff, and I needed it all again this time around.
Yep.
So it would behoove you to save it into a bag or something.
Yeah. That's part of the reason why I have all these in gear bags. Because what you could do is you can take those bags, uh, hand them to somebody else, log another tune, and put them all back on that new tune. I actually have an account that's just for transfers like that. But I don't expect anybody else to get that fancy. Um, but that's exactly right. Make yourself some bank chests. Unfortunately, the bank chest can only hold 10 items, but etc. etc.
It can
Okay,
hold 50, can it? Just like 10
it,
non.
that's right. It can hold up to 50, 10 modified. So if you get
Okay.
random loot, uh, but we can talk about that next time. There's a whole lot more to it than just that. Um, any other things you can think of that we encountered here?
I don't think so.
Excellent. Okay. Well, that's it. I'm gonna throw up a little. I'm gonna throw up that screen again that had the all the links on it, and I need to make one that has all these commands that we've been doing. I don't know why it does that. I gotta learn how to use this a little better. This presentation software doesn't work very good for me. There we go. And now it doesn't actually show on the presentation. Well, great. Okay. Another day maybe. On that, I'm going to stop the stream. It was nice to meet you, Get Ghosted. Maybe we see you next time. Maybe not. Alright.